Okay, we're good. My name is Mel Bauer. I'm the program coordinator for Tax Credit Alliance of Nebraska, also known as VITA, Volunteer Income Tax Assistance. Katharina Stokes is a program director for TCAN, and first we would like to thank all of you for volunteering to help with this year's tax season. As a volunteer, you play an essential role in helping TCAN/VITA be able to help those in need. In this orientation, we're going to walk you through what VITA is all about, who we serve, some of our volunteer roles, and so much more. This orientation is being recorded, so if you cannot stay for the entirety of the orientation, you can watch your email for a link, and this orientation will be available within a few days. There will be a chance towards the end for questions and answers. If you have any questions going through our presentation today, please write down your questions and feel free to ask them at the end. Let's get started today. All right, let's talk about what VITA is. VITA is an IRS program that offers free basic tax return preparation to qualified individuals. The VITA program has operated for over 50 years, and sites are operated by IRS partners and staffed by volunteers who want to make a difference in the community. We assist individuals and families in receiving all their qualifying tax credits when filing. VITA stands for Volunteer Income Tax Assistance. Who do we help? Do you want to do it, Katharina?
We help individuals and families with low to moderate income. Generally, that's around 68,000 or less. And non-filing families and children, persons with disabilities, individuals who speak English as an additional language, students, and older adults. Really, there's no limit to who we help. We just want to help people get, the credits back on their tax returns. Every hour volunteer puts an average of $1,700 in the hands of families. I think that's pretty amazing statistic there. Tax preparation can be confusing and expensive process for many. And the Tax Credit Alliance of Nebraska helps remove these challenges by offering high quality, free tax assistance, thanks to the growing network of dedicated volunteers. And it's important to know that no prior experience or tax knowledge is necessary because we provide the training you need to pass the certifications needed to do this. As an IRS volunteer income tax assistance program, we provide all the training you need. You are providing more than a tax refund. You are helping families save money and build a better future. So here are some stats from last year. I know a lot of you I recognize some of the names on this presentation were here last year. So we did 2,252 returns. Earned income credit back to people was 629,681. The child tax credit was 495,192. Average refund was $1,797. And the total returns we did was 2,228,482. So that's I would say a lot of success right there. Now we're going to talk about the roles. So the first role is a greeter screener who welcomes the taxpayers and helps with screening to determine if the return is in scope and confirm if they have the necessary documents to complete their tax returns. An interpreter, you provide free language interpretation services to customers who are not fluent in English. Tax preparer, you complete and provide tax return services to eligible taxpayers. Quality reviewer, you're also reviewing the tax return completed by the volunteer tax preparers, ensuring that tax returns are error-free. And usually this role, you need to have a couple years experience doing tax returns. And site coordinator, you are the primary resource for sharing your knowledge of the program and are available to assist with any issues that may arise. You develop and maintain the schedules for all volunteers at your site to ensure adequate coverage, supplies, and equipment are at your site. You are responsible for the quality site standards and transmitting returns within the 36 hours of preparation. And this role is definitely somebody who's volunteered for a couple of years, who has a lot of experience. We really value these people because they return year after year to volunteer for this program. What certifications do you need? That's probably the number one question for people who sign up to volunteer. So a greeter, screener, or interpreter, they need to complete the volunteer standards of conduct, the intake interview and quality review, and then they must sign a volunteer agreement. And the volunteer agreement must be verified by a government issued photo ID and presented a signed and dated volunteer agreement form prior to serving at any site. The tax preparer or quality reviewer has to complete the same volunteer standards of conduct and intake interview quality review and the volunteering agreement. In addition, they'd have to pass the advanced tax law certification with 80% or better. There is a basic tax law and an advanced tax law certification. We do ask that all our volunteer tax preparers do the advanced so that it's easier for everybody to be able to do the tax returns when somebody comes in. And then also we ask that the tax preparers attend tax layer training, which is usually held about the third or fourth week in January, depending on when the software is available. And then the site coordinator has to pass all those certifications, the same ones. And then on top of that, the site coordinator certification and the OPI translator, IRS translator service. And it's important to note again that all of those roles need to have the volunteer agreement certified with a photo ID on site. Okay. We have a YouTube channel. You can see what it's called there. And we have several of the videos from last year. And a lot of this is still applicable to this year because there hasn't been a lot of tax law changes. So feel free to review those videos to help you with your certifications and to pass your exams. The exams are you take those on something called Link and Learn. And we'll get to that. Yeah, I think she's got that. We will add an important note, we will add videos to the YouTube channel as we get new ones. So like this orientation, we will add there. And there are some from the IRS that we will also add. We'll notify you when those are updated. All right, so training, like I mentioned, Link and Learn certification. And last I looked, it wasn't activated yet. So you can't take your certifications yet. But we'll let you know when that is ready. It's provided by the IRS. But it also has lots of references and quick links to your certification. So there are lessons, training guides, a practice lab, so you can practice doing an actual tax return, which you will need to do for the tax law certification to pass the test. So again, once this is activated, we'll let you know when that's ready. In the meantime, there are lots of online resources available that can help you prepare for your certifications. The actual test that you'll be taking is already out there, so you actually know what the questions will be. That's the publication 6744. And that has all the tests. So not everybody has to take all the tests, just to remind you, just depending on what your role is. And you have to pass with 80% or better. And if you don't pass, you can also do a retake of the test. So that publication is available. We also have hard copies at our office. So if you would like to have physical copies, just let Mel know and she can, we can arrange to have you pick those up at our office, which is in downtown Lincoln. The other publication we have physical copies of is 4012, which is the Volunteer Resource Guide. This really talks about all the resources and tax law, and these will also be available at the sites to reference in case you have any tax law questions. And again, we have these hard copies also available at our office. So if you'd like a hard copy, please let us know. The other publications, 4961 and 4491, are training guides. Again, those are available online, and that can help you with your certifications and preparing for the tax season. They also have a intake interview quality review training. So there is a new intake sheet this year. So that will go over what the new one looks like. And we will also have, we plan to have training for that as well with our IRS representatives to help us with that. And then there's also the site coordinator training available online as well. And this is the practice lab for TaxSlayer. TaxSlayer is the software that we use to do the tax returns. The password is trainproweb, and you can go out there and practice doing your tax returns. You will need to use this if you are a tax preparer taking your tests, because you will have to have scenarios where you have to prepare a tax return. So that is available to use. Mel, if you want to take this one.
Yep. All right, so what's next? Watch your email for updates and information. Make sure you register for your intake interview and quality review and tax layer trainings to be held on Zoom, probably December or January. We'll let you know as we get finalized dates. Attend the tax layer training in January, if that's the one hosted from the IRS. That will kind of give us more of an insight. And then to pass IRS certifications with 80% or better by no later than January 25th. Schedule your site hours by January 25th, and you could do that by filling out the Microsoft form. Email your volunteer agreements, form 13615, signed and dated by January 25th with that photo identification. And then upload all certificates to, we have not yet depicted whether it's going to be our website or emailing them or dropping them off at the office, either way, by no later than January 25th. We will send out the upload information when the volunteer site is ready. And then all VITA locations this year will be open February 1st to the public.
Starting February 1st, that'll be our first
Yep.
site on East Campus.
More ways that you can help. Help spread the word about VITA for new volunteers. Help share our site schedule around town. Follow us and reshare a social media post. Right now we have a LinkedIn, an Instagram, a Threads, a Facebook, and our YouTube. You can see the social handles right above there. If anyone needs them, just reach out and let me know. And we want to thank you so much for coming. This right here is a couple of our partners that we work with. Child Care Tax Credit, First Five of Nebraska, the IRS, and Nebraska Center on Children, Families, and the Law, and of course, Lincoln VITA. We'll go ahead and open up the floor to any questions that people may have right now so we can help out or answer in any way that we can. Anyone have anything that they want to ask?
Well, you said the hard publications will be available. I think you said they're available now, and that's down at the Student Union in the basement, as I recall.
No, I do.
No.
I'm attending it.
Oh. Those are available at our office. Mel, do you have that on one of our screens, our office address?
He told me that's better to use it. Is it? Yeah, that's what he said.
Oh, I don't have it on our screen.
Okay.
I thought it was gonna
We
take
can send it
longer.
out
Just like
after this, what the address is. It's
Oh,
206
that's
South 13th Street, Suite 1000. That's the CCFL office downtown. It's right across from the American Job Center, if you remember volunteering there.
Will it also be available at East Campus?
We will have those available at the sites, yes. But if you would like your own hard copy, you'll have to come to our office to pick those up.
Okay.
And the office again is 206 South 13th. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yep. We're going to be located on the 10th floor, and our elevators lock at 4:30 p.m. If for some reason you can't make it, just email me, reach out to me, and we'll work out a time to drop it off to you or to get it to you, one way or the other.
That's the Sharp building.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Now, could you repeat just one more time? I'm sorry. What publications you have? The 4012 was one.
Yes.
Yep.
The 4012 and then the test, which is is that 6744?
Yep.
Yep. Those are the two we have available.
Anybody else have any questions?
And I
Hi, I
think it's-
wondered
Hi.
about the photo ID. How do we go about that if it's all online? Is this just put in your license number sort of thing or what?
When you show up to your site to volunteer, that's when you'll show your photo ID to the site coordinator. So they can verify you are who you are and that you've signed your volunteer agreement.
Gotcha, thanks.
I just thought of another thing I wanted to ask you. When I put down the preferences for sites, I put down a lot of them, but what I meant to do was just say where I would be available to work. I had probably 3 days a week would be plenty for me.
That's fine. So that just gives us an idea when you're available. We will have, when the schedule is finalized, we will have specific time slots for everyone to sign up. The date and time that you want to volunteer.
Mute.
Any other questions? Right.
Well, I'll just throw in another one then. We are VITA, not VITA. Is that correct?
It is VITA. That's great. And I think in the chat, I see, will there be free parking available for volunteers? It depends on where the site is. So I believe at the East Campus Saturdays, there is free parking there. I think it depends on the site and the day. So like downtown, please correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, downtown, if you're working on Sundays, I believe that would be free. And if that's an issue, just let me know and we can see what we can do to maybe get you a parking voucher if you're downtown.
Parking vouchers would be helpful. I know I spent quite a bit on parking last year, and I know it's probably difficult to do, but
No, we can get some vouchers, especially the American Job Center, since our office is downtown, we have the ability to get some vouchers for that one. Okay. If there's no other questions, then I'm glad you all could join us and just stay tuned. We will have more training, more information as we get closer to the start date. We appreciate all of you and we look forward to working with you this year.
good show. Thanks.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.